That's a fact, Matt. Thank you. Joining us this morning, Dr. James Osmanski from the Bozeman Health Center's, or Bozeman Health Deaconess's Sleep Center. You're the director of the center up there at the Bozeman Health Deaconess. Daylight savings time is an interesting time of year for a lot of the United States. We spring ahead, coming up on Sunday morning at 2 o'clock in the morning. There's some medical situations that come along with that, isn't there, though, Doctor?
Yeah, there are. Yeah, it turns out that the hour of lost sleep can adversely affect us for several days afterwards. So the advantages to having more daylight are that it gives us opportunity to exercise a little bit more. We can get a little bit more vitamin D exposure, and we're not commuting in the dark, so traffic accidents due to that actually decrease. But there are health consequences on the other end. So for the first couple of days after the time change, we're at higher likelihood of developing a heart attack. Strokes are increased in incidence over the first week. And then because in general our sleep duration decreases, our sleep efficiency decreases, we don't sleep as much when we're in bed, all those things lead to both behavioral and cognitive problems that can reduce attention and vigilance. And it can take several weeks to actually have things settle out. The more rested you are when you go into the time change, the better off you'll be. And most people cheat on the average of 7 to 9 hours of sleep that you're supposed to get each night. And when that happens on the time zone change, it tends to adversely affect us.
I think it's interesting how that affects that, shifting that hour in there. Here in the northern climates where we get that longer stretches of daylight anyway, would we see some of that even if we didn't change the time? Because obviously more daylight's going to affect your sleep time anyway.
Yeah, so the longer days will be advantageous, but the higher you go towards the poles, the less effective those changes are. So absolutely, as the days lengthen, we'll enjoy that daylight. But these changes where we actually just lose an hour's sleep, and then in the fall when you gain an hour's sleep, those things can adversely affect our health for a while.
Is this something you personally constantly think about? Oh, here it comes on Sunday. I got to do some preparation in my own life to do it?
Yeah, actually, at the sleep lab, we were trying to figure out what we did for our patients on Saturday night. So yeah, it has affected us, yeah.
Oh, that's fascinating. Again, the preparation, I think just touch on those again. I think that's important for us as we're working towards Sunday morning and the couple of days after that. What are those key points that we should hit on? Yeah,
so the American Academy of Sleep Medicine has worked this out, and the general guidelines are try and get as much sleep as you can for the several days prior to daylight savings time change. If you can, get at least 15 to 20 minutes more sleep each night for the first couple of nights before. If you can, shift your diet and shift your exercise times a little earlier, and that'll make the hour loss a little bit easier. On Saturday evening, adjust your clocks earlier. Don't wait till after you go to bed or Sunday morning to change it. And then try to go to bed on clock time. So when your normal bedtime comes up, just get in bed. On Sunday morning, though, it's important because light is the way that we shift our circadian clock. Sunday morning, try and get up early and get some bright light exposure, and that'll actually be helpful for you. Because people get sleepy, make sure that if you're operating heavy equipment or driving a car on Sunday, pay attention and pull over if you're tired. And then on Sunday night, as close to normal, go to bed at your normal bedtime, and that'll get you ready for the work week on Monday.
That's perfect. Dr. James Osmanski joining us from the sleep lab of the Bozeman Health Deaconess, a sleep medicine specialist.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm going to get some quick rest. I'm going to try to catch up right now. Thank you very much. We're going to take a quick break, much more headlines, and of course your forecast when we come back.